Great pass. What a catch!
My goodness.
What an amazing catch from Vicky McFarlane.
Highlight reel. Never say yes to the jest. That was fantastic. Saratoga can make it a push for home. This is 400 herself. 13 strikeouts for Gabby Snyder and one of the best pitching performances we've seen this season. This one and a fantastic grab by Emma Burridge. Climbs the ladder and brings it down. Atkins grounds this up the middle. That's going to score a run. Bruins score two. Deep to left field. This is back, and this one is gone. It's magic from Madeline.
Good evening and welcome back to live softball action 2019-2020 season of the Softball SA Premier League. James Harris here, and joining me in commentary is the great man himself, Lee Hull. Welcome, Lee.
Thank you, James. Good evening, everybody. What an absolute belter of a night it is weather-wise.
Welcome back. It's been a long off-season. I'm absolutely thrilled to be back calling the live softball action, and very special thanks to Spacequake Sports. We're back for a fourth season, and what promises to be a bigger and better year. Have a look at that view right there of the softball diamond. We've been playing the Australian Masters games this last 7 days, and we had medal rounds earlier on today, so well done to the grounds crew who have brought back the field to an excellent playing condition. We've got the West Torrens Eagles versus the Seacombe Tigers tonight, Lee, round one opening match. And we also have, of course, another game on Diamond 2 as we speak.
Sturton Glenelg.
And that's going to kick off the season. We're back on Wednesday night action. Won't be shown before Christmas this year. We will do it after Christmas, because this season, we are going to be playing fully loaded softball. It starts Thursday, November 7th, but all the Saturday action will be brought to you by Spacequake Sports, Softball SA, the Premier League, and it will be generally the 2 o'clock game. This week's a little different because we have the Australian Masters games. But Lee, what are your thoughts for the season, mate? Have we heard any news in the off season?
Oh, we've certainly heard some news. Glenelg have a pitcher, new pitcher, an import. Port have got a gun pitcher, so everybody says. And unfortunately, in some respects, I mean, Jesse Dresswicker will be back for the Walkerville Cats, but unfortunately, I think that we'll miss Katie Sutherland Finch and Vicky McFarlane. Two people that can play the game. And as you pointed out earlier on between us, that this is just about the time of the year that Katie pitched the perfect game last season.
About 12 months ago. Let's talk about these two teams. Any changes to the lineup? Well, first and foremost, the pitcher, Steph Trzynski, is going to shoulder the load this year. We've seen young Maddie Scott. She's off in Odessa, Texas at college. Any other changes, notable changes?
Well, it's Faith Pickard comes in to catch, where she's normally been playing in the outfield, because Carly Allen isn't with us this season, having the season off.
Yeah, we've seen Faith play pretty much a utility role this up until this season. She gets a senior starting role, doesn't she?
I think that's her forte, is a utility. She's a very capable player in all positions.
As we go around the diamond, Steph Trzynski's pitching to Faith Pickard.
Yes, and on the corners, it's Kelsey Nucky, of course, at first, Lana Kaisler at second. That doesn't change from year to year. The people in the pivot positions, second base, Sophie Hoyle, and Jordan Lambert at shortstop. And defending the deep, out there on the grass area, Amy Wheeler at left, Alicia Marching at centre, and Jackie Beale at right.
It's an all-star lineup, isn't it? You've got two Travelodge Aussie Spirit representatives in Lambert and Trzynski in the lineup. You've got Stars representatives in Sophie Hoyle, Lana Kaiser, and you've got junior state representatives spread throughout the rest of the lineup. So it's an all-star team. You'd expect them to go deep into the 2019-20 season.
They went very deep the last 2 seasons, didn't they? Right to the last pitch, you might say.
Yeah, and I guess you could. You wouldn't say that the 2 grand finals that they did play came down to one play, but
No.
there's one play that sticks out in your mind for the one from 2 years ago, the catch in foul territory, and then last season, of course, that the wayward throw. So it's, is it West Torrens season this year, or do you think it'll be another season of a team not dominated by an international pitcher?
Well, Matty Scott's a terrific pitcher, but no better than this person pitching here, Steph Trzynski.
Well, here we go. We're about to get set to get underway for the very first pitch of the 2019-20 season for the Softball SA Premier League. And Steph Trzynski into her motion and fires that one in. And strike is called from plate umpire Ian Gray.
Yes, he's on plate tonight, and at first base it's Kevin Tannebring, and Paul Brooking brings up the team at third base.
So good senior team of umpires on the diamond. Paul Brooking be tight. He was umpiring, and KT were umpiring during the week for the Australian Masters Games. Trzynski back into her motion and tries to catch an outside edge, but just a little bit off.
Listen to the way the ball hits that glove. It's got something on it, hasn't it? Yep, whack.
All right, so Steph Trzynski got the arm up, covering the sun. So is that sun going to play a little bit of havoc for these fielders, or
It's
is
hard to say. Just what you want your lead-off hitter to do, James. Just take their time.
Well, it's Steph Hull up to bat, and she's been a bit of a veteran for this Seacombe Tigers team, a mainstay in the side over the last few years.
Yep. And this is a plan from Scott Radigan, the coach, isn't it? Take as many pitches as you can early. Surely.
Well, Scott Radigan in his 4th season with the Seacombe Tigers. Andrew Scott in just his 2nd with West Torrens. 2 reasonably new coaches when you think about it. However, Radigan in his 4th season, the coach is in his about 30th year of softball altogether. So some good experience. Oh, Hull has a good cut at that one, but it is a strike swinging. And she goes down on strike. So Steph Hull is the first victim of the 19-20 season, and we're going to see a new player for the Seacombe Tigers.
Tamika Penglaze.
Formerly of the Glenelg Softball Club, a change of scenery, and she's right up the top of the batting order for the Tigers.
Yes, both the Penglaze girls have come across to Seacombe this year, which will bolster Seacombe,
Oh, yeah.
you'd think.
A couple of handy acquisitions in the off-season, swing and a miss on the first pitch. Now, funnily enough, these two were teammates at Glenelg. Steph Trzynski pitching to Tamika.
Yep.
Both now playing at other clubs, of course. As the season goes on, the sun will get higher in the sky, of course, and the sun will become less of an issue. But in these earlier weeks of October and of the season, you probably see the 6 o'clock time slot. You see the players shielding the sun from their eyes.
Certainly.
Penglaze watches that one. She's going ahead of the count here, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, as I said to you, I think this is a set plan. Take as many pitches as you can initially.
Trzynski didn't pitch too much last year. She was used sparingly as she returned from injury, but had a very impressive record for the few innings that she did throw. Who's your leading player in this Seacombe lineup? Because you know, the last couple of years they probably have just missed it. Oh, just a little Chica shot over the top of the infield. Tamika Penglaze, the first hit of the season. And, well, Seacombe are up and running now with a base runner.
Oh, I think you'd be looking for a little bit of a reduction in your fees after that, wouldn't you? Moving across, and first chance you get yourself a base hit.
Good shot there on the statewide super replay and the first base runner. So nice shot there from Tamika, and brings up to bat Cara Schultz. Junior state representative, played both 17s and 19s last year. This year, however, the change of age groups, she will just be playing in the under 18s.
Well, the team has been selected, but all I can say is that once it's been ratified, we'll know whether she's in or out, along with the others. Strong hitter of the ball, Cara. Been unfortunate in both the last two nationals because she's been injured on day one.
Yeah.
I did suggest her she turns up on day two.
She played under 23s this year as well, yep. So handy player. She's right deep back in the box as well. Big cart swing and a miss from Cara Schultz, and she is still just a young player in that under 18 age group, but this is her 4th season of A-grade softball. Can you believe that?
I can, but it's hard, it's deceptive, isn't it? Because they've been around a fair time and they're only still young.
Swing and a miss, and can't cover that outside edge. So good calling from Pickard, and Trzynski makes no mistake capturing the outside edge for the second out. So a second strikeout victim, given up one hit already, and up to bat now is Jess Maslin. Now, we talk about the better players in the competition, and you can't go past Jess Maslin. She is one of the heavy hitters. She's got some great experience.
And the thing that everyone likes about Jess, she's been so loyal to this club, hasn't she?
Yeah, since moving from the Gawler Association.
Yep, and she comes a long way.
Low for a ball. So that's good watching from Jess Maslin, and with no Jenny Dunn in the lineup today, Jess Maslin's the senior player in the offensive lineup. Not to say that Tamika and Steph aren't senior players, but you know, she's the hitter in the lineup, isn't she? That the opposition teams would feel a threat from.
She's a person you pitch carefully to, just like Jenny Dunn.
Oh, Maslin looks like she's protecting the zone here. Penglaze gets a big lead off of sort of first base, but it's a third strikeout. So Trzynski strikes out the side. She gives up just the one hit, and that was to Tamika Penglaze. So off to an okay start, Seacombe. They saw some pitches, but didn't manage to get a runner past first. Good pitching there from Steph Trzynski.
Yes, and there's nothing surprising about that. I see our photographer, Mr. Robert Laidlaw, has arrived. Nice to see Rob back on deck.
Yeah, well, as we go through the season, we will make sure that we get interactive once in a while. So if you're watching at home on Facebook or YouTube, don't hesitate to comment, and we'll get to you if and when we can. Just in the in between the inning breaks, we might try and do that. We do have our broadcast responsibilities with NITV and Channel 44, so we'll keep the social interaction to the inning breaks. So don't ever hesitate to comment on Facebook, and sharing and liking the page is also encouraged, because we're so proud to be back on our national broadcast partner NITV, the part of the SBS group, and of course Channel 44. Well, Lee, let's get to the Seacombe Tigers lineup. We can see the return, although she played a couple of games last year, the return of the veteran pitcher, Jade Peterson.
Yes, and what a quality player she's been over so many years. Very, very good player. Consistent performer. So that's the battery. Jade Peterson to Jess Maslin. First base, Becky Havis. Third base, a new player, Nina Jamison. At shortstop, it's Steph Hull and Kara Schultz is, Steph Hull's at second. Kara Schultz is short. And the outfield from left to right, Sasha Penglaze, Tamika Penglaze, the sisters next to each other, and Araha Munro.
We were just talking before as well, such a young lineup for Seacombe. That has been, you know, what they've had the last few years, hasn't it? A young lineup, and you look at their bench, they're all young players as well.
Yeah, the bench sitters are Jazz Blight, Jade Graham, Sasha Mutzi, and Sophie Kinnear. Nice to see Sophie back.
Always welcome back, Sophie Kinnear. Lovely young lady. As is this batter right here, Jordan Lambert. Lead off for the West Torrens Eagles. Travelodge Aussie Spirit representative. Watches that first one high for a ball. She had a busy off-season, Lee. I hear that she got engaged.
Yes, I know. It's just a choice of men that worries me, James.
Rips after this one, but it goes foul.
No, that's congratulations to you both, mate. Both do so much at softball, and you deserve each other, for sure.
Well, she had an off-season in the NPF as well, in the USA, and 10 weeks she was away for.
Long time, mate.
And see if she can bring back some newfound aggression from the season. Oh, she crushes this one. It's going deep to the fence. One bounce and into the statewide super sign. And Jordan Lambert is going to stand up on third. It's a welcome back to Jordan Lambert. Smashes that statewide super replay. Gets all of it over the top of Penglace. One bounce into the fence.
And see what happens when you get engaged. Look at the power. It was a great start.
Yeah, great start. She'll be happy with that. Good aggressive start to the season. She fouled the one off previous. Some things never change. That helmet's fallen off. As she runs the bases, stands up comfortably on third. Well, Faith Picard is the new batter up with Jordan Lambert on third. She's going to be able to swing away. I can tell you right now, Faith, in my opinion, Lee, was in the top 3 players of last season. She had a great year. She had the most runs out of any individual. She had the most hits out of any individual in the competition last year, and somewhat unheralded because of the star power in their lineup.
Yes, but she's so consistent, Faith.
Well, she's consistently fouled off those last 2 and behind in the count.
And the West Torrens batting lineup doesn't vary very much. It might, does it? It might 1 or 2 players, but it's so strong all the way down.
Good shot up the middle from Faith Picard. Lambert will cross the plate. It's the first run of the ball game and of the season. Faith Picard with a single and an RBI, and well, perhaps she'll have another good season this year.
And it keeps coming, doesn't the hitting? Kaysler, Hoyle, Nucky.
No let up as Lana Kaysler up to bat. Well, they're aggressively getting after Peterson here. She has started high in the zone on a couple of these batters, but the hitters from the Eagles have been able to get bat on ball. Will we see the wheels get moving at some stage, or is Andrew Scott likely to let these girls hit first up?
Probably, you'd think. Early doors. Early doors. Get a feel for the game. Well, Tamika Penglaze has been in the action for the first 2 batters. Would there be another one? Because Lana can hit the ball up there, up the middle.
Good pitch from Jade Peterson. Tries to cut the inside edge, and Kaiser manages to leave that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
They would have faced each other many, many times, wouldn't they? Jade and Lana.
Good catch taken from Jade Peterson and gets it across to Havis at first base for a double play. Unlucky for the West Torrens runner, but terrific defense from the Tigers. Let's have a look at the statewide super replay. We'll see Lana Kaiser just get choked up there on the inside. Just got the end of the handle, but Faith Picard had already taken off.
Took a huge lead.
Well,
must have been a hit and run signal, surely.
Yeah. Just like that, there's 2 out.
Yep.
Sophie Hoyle up to bat here, and she's...
And that's the beauty of this game, the sport of ours, James, that we both love so much, is that things happen when you don't expect them to happen.
Change of pace from Peterson. And Sophie Hoyle gets herself into a good hitter's count. 2 balls the count. 2 out. There's Torrens already on the board. Hoyle gets up to this one, it fouls off.
Played footy through the off-season, didn't she, Sophie?
Yep, Soph has been a quality football player over the last couple of years and also a change of profession. She's going to be serving on the beat, just like one of her teammates, Alicia Marchand.
Okay.
Currently in the academy.
Well, that's the sort of people you want looking after you.
3-1 count. Sophie thought that one was down, and umpire Gray just brings her back a little bit. That's a strike, Soph.
Full count.
This one's going to drop in as well. Havis tries to make up some ground, but just couldn't hold on to it. Just tipped the end of the glove. Pretty good try, if you ask me. This one is the Kaiser hit back to Peterson for the double play.
Long way off, wasn't she, Faith?
Gee, this game's had a lot already, haven't we? We've seen strikeouts, we've seen triples, we've seen RBIs, we've seen double plays. It's a big welcome back, isn't it?
It is.
So good to be back.
And this is what this sport gives you, you know. Explosive sport.
All right, we have up to bat Kelsey Nucky with Sophie Hoyle on first base. Gets up to this one and rips it down the line, left field line. Sasha Panglace will field it in foul territory. Schultz is the cutoff. Sophie Hoyle advances from first to second. Kelsey Nucky stands up at 2. And another great positive start to the season from one of the gun players of this West Torrens team.
It's a typical shot from Kelsey, isn't it? Down the left field line. Close to the line. Stand up double. Now it's Jackie Beale.
Jackie Beale in the left-handed box. She loses the putt. Oh, Sophie Hoyle will take advantage of this one, just getting away from catcher Jess Maslin, and second run of the ball game for the Eagles. So what looked like it was going to be all Eagles to start with, bang, just like that, a double play. And so they've had to do it the hard way, haven't they? Sophie Hoyle blooped a hit and then was pushed around to third from a double from Kelsey Nucky, and then that just pitch getting away from Maslin for a pass ball. So Jackie Beale in the left-handed box. I was just going to say she's missing her left-handed partner in crime this year in Maddie Scott. I'm sure she'll be watching from Odessa, so g'day to Maddie, and see if Jackie Beale can get herself on board from the left-handed batter's box. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count.
Nucky looking to score here, but unable to.
Well, some good pitching in there from Jade Peterson, and a first strikeout victim of the season for Jade. So we know her as a strikeout pitcher, don't we? Because she's racked them up over the last year. So well done to Jade there. So after the first completed inning, the West Torrens Eagles hold a 2-run lead, 2 runs to 0.
It's a handy start.
Well, Lee, let's take this opportunity to go to social media just to see who's watching, who's commenting. So some family members by the looks of things, and some support for both the Eagles and the Tigers. So hopefully we get some comments, and we can get to your comments on the social media pages in the changes of innings.
Yeah, that's excellent, James.
Well, we will be back again next Saturday, and it's going to be the first full round of the SA Premier League season. Only the 4 teams playing tonight, but next Saturday we'll have a full complement of 3 games. Again, there's the 7 teams in the competition, so of course someone will have a bye, and 3 teams effectively having a bye today.
And it's very good initiative to make it the Premier League, because it falls in line with a lot of other sports, in my opinion.
We are back with the action. It is the top of the second. Araha Munro, the hitter, and good to see Araha in the hitting lineup this year. I think she's one of the better hitters in her age group, but hopefully she can stand up to the senior women's division this year. She's had a couple of seasons with a game or 2 here or there, and has been exciting to watch her develop over the last couple of years.
Yes, well, she'll pitch if something happens to Jade, you would think, wouldn't you?
Share the low. Swing and a miss at that one. I did say that we'd get to our social media in between the inning breaks, but I can see Maddie Scott is watching, so g'day to Maddie. Okay, back to the action, and Munro just behind the count at the moment. So Trzynski going to work, and a strikeout looking, so turn that K the other way, as our friends at Ballpark Broadcasting would say. They did a magnificent job over the winter with some of the international events, the Men's World Championships, the Junior Women's World Championships, and of course the very exciting Olympic qualifier that was just played last month in Shanghai in China. Becky Havas, the new hitter.
I think this girl's a very promising young player.
Yes, well, she started playing in the seniors last year after coming from Gawler, and Seacombe had a spot for her in the lineup, so she took that opportunity. It'll be good to see her get some more game time in this year, and fouls that one off. So it's always going to be tough to battle against the quality of Steph Trzynski, a Travelodge Aussie Spirit squad member herself, and spent a portion of the season in the US MPF season with the Aussie Peppers. Havas goes up the handle a little bit there, and that one's low. And just watches that one a bit close there to leave that one. 2 balls.
I've noticed that's the pitch that she's got the K2s with, or at least 3 of them. Seems to be the go-to pitch for the KT.
Well, Trzynski doesn't even look like she's got out of second gear just yet. And, that is great signs for the Eagles, because she's a star player and a player that we've really wanted to see back in the competition. And we've got a couple of young players over in the college system at the moment. We did mention Maddie Scott before, but Jamie Mead and Steph Collett back playing this year. So Walkerville Cats will miss Steph Collett, and Jamie Mead, of course, was out of the Glenelg Softball Club, and some future stars of the game right there.
Yes, I'll be interested to see who the Cats play at shortstop.
Swing and a miss. This one gets away from Picard, and Becky Havas will get aboard. So some luck going the way of the Tigers today. second strikeout of the inning, but that one just gets away from the catcher. So the first base runner of the second inning. So well done to Becky. Up to bat now is Sasha Penglace, her first turn at bat for a new club. Has been thrown around a little bit, hasn't she? A pitcher, an outfielder.
Yeah. He's had to do a lot of pitching at Glenelg when they didn't have an import.
Leaves that one alone on the outside.
You think you'd go short play here, wouldn't you? I'm not quite sure how many back-to-back hits you'd get off of Steph.
Yeah, Trzynski's had 5 strikeouts already in the game, so...
just give Becky Hovis a chance to run.
Well, gets a big lead off. You don't want to be standing out in no man's land for too long.
No.
Ball 2 and strike 1. Yeah, very interesting tactics. Coach Scott Radigan's just come off a week of playing Masters, and there's no bunting in Masters, so
I noticed.
Maybe that tactic's out of his head at the moment. Penglace swing and a miss at that high pitch.
I'm just thinking, play the percentages here. You know, give her a chance to get in the scoring position.
Get the corners moving, get them off their toes, on their toes,
and that's the pitch.
Yep, that low pitch for a standing strikeout.
Yep.
Well, make that 6 strikeouts for Trzynski, although one of them was a drop third strike.
Yep.
Jade Peterson, now the hitter. That one in there for a called strike.
I tell you, Becky Hovis is certainly getting a big lead off here.
Would you chance her, or would you give her an opportunity?
Well,
let's see what the catcher's got.
That's right. Well, the only way you're going to find out is by stealing.
It's the first game of the season. Might be a good time to do it. Timeout called. Steph Trzynski wants to have a chat with her catcher, Faith Picard. Just make sure that they're on the same page, and why not? I mean, it's the first time that these two have really played together, isn't it? I mean, you think back at Trzynski, whenever she pitched for the Eagles, perhaps Carly Allen was catching, and before that she was at Glenelg. So
yep.
Not sure how often they actually work together in a ball game.
I'm thinking if I'm Becky Hovis and I'm taking that bigger lead, force her to throw the ball back to first and then just go from there. Because she may be left stranded in any case.
There's that low pitch, but not called on this occasion. So Peterson, who was behind in the count, can't afford to leave those that are that close to the zone. You take that out of the umpire's hands, don't you?
You do. But that's what you do if you're a player. If you're an A-grade player, you come and sit behind and watch Steph, what she does. What's her go-to pitch?
Swing and a miss. So another strikeout for Trzynski. The runner left stranded on first base. So perhaps a change of tactics required. Seacombe have had the 2 base runners, 1 in each inning, both stranded on first base. So West Torrens Eagles have done a good job there. They've gotten out of the top half of the second innings without too much damage, and they still hold on to a 2-run lead.
Yes, and that's what I was saying to you. You know, just play the percentages, because you wouldn't think they're going to come up with 3 or 4 cracks of the bat in a row. I could be sadly mistaken, though. Hope I am. Well, we've got 2 teams that were on either side of the ladder last year, haven't we? We had the Seacombe Tigers, who struggled a little bit, didn't they? They finished outside of the finals, and of course West Torrens played in that grand final last year. So
you're known for your predictions, mate. What are you seeing this season is going to bring for these two teams?
Well, probably more of the same, I think, James, in fairness. I think you can't see West Torrens slipping down. I mean, Maddie Scott, fantastic job, fantastic young pitcher, but who replaces her? Steph Trzynski. Nothing else you can say about that. And Seacombe, Jade, going to be consistent, no doubt. Young side too. But West Torrens, the strength of West Torrens doesn't move, does it? Lose Carly Allen, but you've still got that field, that defensive side of things. Seacombe, they'll just keep peppering away.
All right, that batter was Alicia Marchink, and she pops that up to Tamika Penglace out at centre field. So again, back in the action for Tamika, and Alicia Marchink is retired for the first out of the bottom half of the second innings. And this is Amy Wheeler, the 8-hitter for the Eagles. Now, is she going to be a regular face that we see in the Eagles lineup, or will we see Brody Borovnik return?
Yeah, Brody's got lacrosse commitments for the Australian under-23 side. They go to Japan, I think, in November. So maybe she hasn't been to the trainings that she would have liked to have been, and that's fair enough. She batted so well in that grand final, didn't she, Brody? The runs she brought in. So this girl's quick on base, Amy Wheeler.
So Jade Peterson has really got ahead of this count with some good pitching, some off-pace pitching, and Amy Wheeler behind in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Low.
Such a smart pitcher, isn't she, Jade? She's been there for so long. She knows all the tricks of the trade. She knows the batters.
Just past the 30-minute mark already, Lee. Jeez, it only just feels like the game started, but Wheeler swing and cuts at that one. It goes foul, 2-2 count with 1 out here in the bottom half of the second inning. West Torrens, of course, scoring the 2 runs in the first inning off the back of a Jordan Lambert triple and the RBI from Faith Picard. Fouls this one off again, Amy Wheeler. Well, as the sun is starting to set, we can see the shadow that's cast from the grandstand roof is around about the shortstop area, just covering the pitcher's face as well. But then the pitcher leaps out into the sunshine again. That's got to be off-putting for the hitters.
Oh, you'd think so.
Well, she gets a piece of this one. Cara Schultz at shortstop, fires it across, but the throw not in time, and has to pick that one up out of the dirt. So the speed of Amy Wheeler, as you mentioned, Lee, has got her over to first base. Let's watch the statewide super replay. She swings at that one, pulls it across to the left side of the diamond. And Cara Schultz might have had too much time to think about that one. She pumped the ball into her glove, and Wheeler able to take it full advantage of that. Now this one gets away from the catcher, Jess Maslin, and Amy Wheeler is going to go into scoring position. So no out here in the bottom of the second inning. And the number 9 hitter, Steph Trzynski, has a runner in scoring position.
Yes, well, Amy, I noticed that she was just wandering, well, not wandering through, but not running at pace. Probably thought it's a one base, you know.
Well, piece of the ball, Becky Havas under it, and does a good job to take a catch in foul territory. So Steph Trzynski, we'll probably see her more and more in the batting lineup this season, and I'm sure she will have another opportunity in this game as well, but fouls that one off, and good catch taken by Havas. Back to the top of the order here. Jordan Lambert now up to bat. Gets after that first pitch, fouls it off. The aggression continues from the West Torrens order.
Don't you love it from your lead-off hitter? Aggressive. Coming at you right from the start.
high for ball one. It's a good positive start here from Lambert. Of course, she had that triple, but she's fouled off a couple already. Change of pace on the outside. Lambert leaves that one alone. 2 balls and 1 strike now. The count.
I tell you what, she gets it out of the infield. On the ground, Wheeler will score. She is lightning quick.
One's close, but down in the zone. 3-1 now, the count. Looks to go opposite field on that outside pitch, so very positive from Lambert. Just a couple of cuts of the ball. She fouled one down the left side of the first turn at bat, and then she followed up with a triple. This one fouled off to the right side.
Hard shots, aren't they, even though they're foul?
Gets under this one just slightly. Sasha Penglace gets into a comfortable position and takes a good catch. So Jordan Lambert, a couple of long balls in the game, but that one well taken at left field from Sasha Penglace. So at the completion of 2 innings, the West Torrens Eagles hold on to that lead, 2-0.
She looked like she was looking directly into the sun then, Sasha. Didn't make any difference.
Well, 2 completed inning, and this break we'll be able to have a look what's going on social media. We've got Tanya Hood watching. She'll be back in the competition this year as an assistant coach. New coach for the Hills Heat this year, Scott Humphreys. Looked like he was watching as well. We can see Craig Robinson watching from Hong Kong. So good day to Craig Robinson.
He's not in any of those street stuff, is he? Hong Kong might be in a different part.
Well, beautiful place, Hong Kong, actually. It's a very fascinating city to be a part of. I spent a day in Hong Kong and caught a tram that went up the steepest hill I've ever been on. I felt like I was going to fall out of the bottom of the tram as it was ascending.
There's a lot of big, tall buildings in there. I've only seen it on the TV. I've never been there, but it's certainly an impressive place.
Let's hope that everyone's safe over in Hong Kong. Let's just say that. Let's not try and get too political here.
No.
In sport, well, we're back to the action. We've got a new player here, Nina Jamison.
Don't know anything about her.
Perhaps a returning player for the club, getting an opportunity. And, you know, we're hopefully going to see her add something to the Seacombe lineup, and perhaps over the course of the season we'll get to know her.
Well, that'll be terrific. It's a name you don't see a lot, Christian name, the lady Nina, do you? Really? See a lot of Mel's, Melissa. It's a great pitch, isn't it?
Yeah. If you can get that bottom part of the zone, you're always going to be out of trouble, because they're not going to be able to lift it.
No.
And so you get your ground balls if they do swing and connect. But it's been catching the Seacombe batters off guard.
And it's a terrific pitch to pitch when you've got people on base, like, you know, couple or bases loaded. They'll just ground out if they get on, and they won't get much power, as you said.
Well, another strikeout victim for Trzynski. That makes number 8. I'm still including the drop third strike because she got there.
Yeah,
we'll go back to the top of the order, and Steph Hull. Strike called, and umpire Gray said it with authority then.
And it's got some revs on it, hasn't it, that low pitch? You can hear it hit the glove. Beautiful scene.
One attempt, and Lana Kaiser into the action, and at full strength, Stretch takes a catch. So that's her first play. That's the first play to go into the field for the West Torrens Eagles. So something different from Steph Hull. Just got handcuffed a little bit there on the inside, and Lana Kaiser, welcome to the ball game.
Yeah, well, she's not. You wouldn't expect her to have too many plays there. I don't think there's going to be too many Tigers players that are going to pull her hard through third base.
Tamika Penglace, the hitter.
If she gets a hit here, she'll be thinking it's good.
Low for a ball, and well, impressively for Tamika, she's only played a handful of games over the last couple of years, but she's a quality player. She's a national champion assistant coach from the under-19 team, and this young lady pitching was one of her players.
Yeah, that's it. And Tamika was renowned for her pulling the ball long distances, like extra base hits. But that's, I'm going back about 3 seasons now.
She's got an open stance, looks like she's quite capable, and she calls time. Not settled. And Lee, I'm not sure if you can tell, but there's some bugs around the place tonight. Maybe the warmer night has brought them out, and I can't say if they were getting in her face then, but I've noticed them just during the broadcast already. Low, yes. Strike is called, so Trzynski has found a spot there where she's getting the calls that she wants, and Penglace just asked the question to umpire Gray if that was the bottom of the zone. Swing and a foul, so Penglace fighting for her Tigers side.
That was a very interesting pitch then. Just looked to be a bit of a curve to it and a little bit off the pace.
You know, one thing I do like about the game is the new season when the new bats come out, so I can see that Penglace has a new DeMarini by the looks of things. Swing and a miss, and doesn't work this time, but a good looking bat. I've seen a new Ghost as well, so the new range of bats, so people have been shopping in the off season.
How much what's a good Ghost worth?
Oh, well, I'm not sure. I've got a price tag on that for you, mate. I haven't been in the market, but let's just say well done to Steph Trzynski. Another strikeout victim ends the top half of the third inning with the Eagles leading 2 runs to 0.
Maybe I'll chat Grant up from MC Sports and see what he's got to offer.
Well, MC Sports, one of our great broadcast partners, and
yes,
we couldn't do it without the support of our broadcast partners at MC Sportswear and Statewide Super. Just when we were talking about Craig Robertson, he says that he's all safe, so he can't wait to get back to watch the Cats. We've got someone watching from Coolerman in New South Wales, Debbie. G'day, Debbie, and Kelsey Curtis has just said that the pitch is on fire, and that she is. Steph Trzynski has been dominant early in the game. Back to the action. We have Faith Picard up to bat now for the Eagles. Just watches that one through for a called strike. I've seen a couple of her good friends in the stands. She's just recently come back from an overseas trip. Some of the Hills Heat players getting to watch some of their opposition as they will take the diamond on Wednesday night. Pulls the ball down the left field line. Faith Picard turns one and will stand up at second base. So her second hit from her second bat, and she leads the competition in hits just like she did last year.
Yep. Consistency, isn't it? Number 2 hitter. You'd take that any day of the week.
Well, Faith Picard picks up where she left off last year, and isn't that handy to have for the West Torrens Eagles? A runner in scoring position here in the bottom half of the third inning. And Kaiser, with that new Ghost that I was talking about, hits the fence on the fall in foul territory. Plenty of pop off that bat, but the strength of this young lady in the batter's box. She is one of the hitters of the competition.
Well, the ghost that talks nearly spoke the right thing, didn't it? Just stays in the field of play, hits the fence on the full, scores another run.
The lights just been switched on, so the artificial light will start to take effect pretty soon, but still plenty of daylight left as the sun will set in the next probably half an hour, I think, or so, and so I think that's just for backup at the moment. Swing and a miss from Kaiser. That one goes foul. Almost about the halfway point of the game.
Yep, it's going along nicely, but with a pitcher like Jade, she's not going to throw that first pitch like she did again to Lana. And that's her experience comes to the fore, so she's have to keep it away from her.
Peterson ahead of the count, throws one in high, trying to get Kaiser chasing, and she is able to leave that one alone. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count. Low for ball 2. What time of day do you prefer playing in? Is it earlier the better? Is it around about noon or just after? Pop up and it goes straight in there. Jade Peterson is under it, takes a good catch. Becky Havis was there as backup, but Peterson didn't really have to move for that one. That's the first out of the inning.
Good comeback by Jade then, because with that cracking shot to the fence in foul territory at the start, one wondered what was going to happen.
The reason why I asked that question, Lee, is because it's a little bit cooler weather, particularly this time of year, and at West Beach, renowned for the cold nights. But this is almost perfect conditions, except for probably that sun's just setting a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a magnificent day, and we've had some magnificent games today too. Some a little bit washed out, washed out with the score. Be fair, but
Sophie Hoyle wears that one on the lower back and it smarts a little bit there. She's grimacing and holding the place where she was hit. She will walk up the line and looks like she'll be all right. Let's watch the statewide super replay. Jeez, she just kept following her, didn't it?
Yep.
Good camera angle from our friends at Spacequake Sports, but we never like to see this, so hopefully Sophie's okay. Well, runners first and second for the Eagles. Now Kelsey Nucky, the batter. She's got a hit. RBI double.
Mm-hmm.
Great camera angle from the guys at Spacequake Sports, and very popular at the end of the year. They do their top 10 plays, and haven't we seen some great plays over the years here in Spacequake Sports? Our 4th season of Premier League softball, and so good to be back for the 2019-2020 season. There is another game on tonight. That is Glenelg Rebels versus the Sturt Falcons. So we'll be interested to see if we get any results coming up from Diamond 2 tonight. 2-2 the count for Kelsey Nucky.
Consistent batter last season, wasn't she?
Swing and a miss. So Kelsey Nucky, after a very promising start with her double, goes down swinging. So 2 outs now. So after a leadoff double from Picard, the next 2 batters go down in order. We've got a catcher speed up. Lana Kaiser is going to be the runner as Faith Picard comes off to start getting dressed and ready for her defensive inning, as the catcher, Jackie Beale, in the left-handed batter's box, is going to swing at this pitch and probably just was moving further towards first base than she needed to.
Yeah.
Needs to stay in the box along that line just a little longer. It's a lot better, but swing and a miss on that one from Jackie Beale.
With these left-handed shots, you need to stay longer in, and then you can make contact and then run. one thing at a time.
Strikeout, watching there from Jackie Beale. So Jade Peterson manages to hold off the Eagles yet again. So threatened early with that leadoff double and then retired the next 3 batters. So good way to get out of the innings there from Seacombe Tigers, but it is West Torrens Eagles leading after 3 complete innings, 2 runs to 0. Well, Lee, let's go back interactive on the Softball SA Facebook page. So we can see a lot of people are watching. Good crowd for a round 1 clash, and good to have the softball back. That's Millie Sims. So good day to Millie. Saw him during the week of the Masters as well. He's going to go in for surgery soon. So good luck to you, Millie.
Tuesday coming.
Greg Russack, he'll be watching from New South Wales. So he'll be watching his beloved Tigers, and Amory Hard's watching from Mildura, cheering on Sophie Hoyle, and hopefully Sophie's all right after being hit in the back as well. So,
well, I tell you, I'd rather get hit in the back by Jade than by Steph.
Well, I would rather not get hit in the back. So,
No.
let's get back to the live softball action, and it is such a pleasure to be back with you, and looking forward to a big season 2019-20, what it's going to bring. We're going to see some new faces this year. We're going to see some old faces returning, and I don't mean old as in age, I just mean familiar face.
Yep.
You mentioned Jesse Dressick before, and who knows who else we might see throughout the season, because Port Adelaide have got a couple of tricks up their sleeve that they're going to be bringing in. Hills Heat have got a new coach as well, so perhaps we'll see a new style of play for those guys. And you know, you never know. You never know what we're going to get. Sturt were a very good team and of young players, bolstered by their Aussie spirit players in Maddie Cameron and Belinda White. And of course, the Walkerville Cats got to change a coach as well. So the reigning back-to-back premiers.
Yes, that's an interesting mix there at Walkerville, isn't it? David Gooley comes back.
The great David Gooley comes back.
He comes back and he's going to help, and he just couldn't stay away. He obviously loves the sport, and he's got a lot to offer, so he'll be a great help to Karen.
Well, we spoke of new coaches. Nat Mead is back to the sport. Former president and A-grade player for Glenelg Rebels. Had a couple of years off. She's back as the A-grade coach. And have a returning player in Megan Wheatley. They had an article in the paper thanks to Robert Laidlaw this morning. Kara Schultz goes down swinging there. That's her second strikeout of the game. And Trzynski's clocking up the strikeouts here. What she have 8 in the first 9 batters. Then she had 2 of the last 3 as well. So 11 for the game so far for Trzynski.
Yep. It tells a story, doesn't it?
Just Maslin, the hitter. And Nat Mead, new assistant coach to the club as well. Kathy Lambert, one of our broadcast commentators. She'll join us throughout the season, no doubt, when the Rebels aren't playing.
Your future mother-in-law.
Very lovely woman.
Yes, she is. She certainly is, and she does a lot for the various sports that she's involved with, doesn't she?
Cooks a mean, or bakes a mean cupcake as well.
Well, I can't say I've ever tasted one, but I'm open for options. Cakes are one of my specialties.
Just Maslin. Well, none of these Seacombe hitters are onto this low pitch that Steph Trzynski's been so successful with in this game.
She's thrown so many of them. Hello.
Leaves that one on the outside.
She'll come back with a low one here.
2-2 the count. We spoke of Seacombe having a young bench. The Eagles have got a young bench as well. Do you think we'll see any of those players make it onto the diamond at some stage?
I'll just go through them in a moment. We can.
Good piece of the ball there from Maslin. This one just goes foul.
Yeah, the bench sitters for the Eagles: Ella White, Mary Elise Fuss, Riley Benedictson, and Melissa de Grief.
That's a new name to the club. That's a former teammate of Belinda White and Steph Trzynski at the DSS club in the Netherlands. So hello to anyone who's watching in the Netherlands. It's my second favourite place to live outside of Australia, and a good friend of a lot of ours, Norman Amos, is the head coach of that team. So we hope that Melissa gets an opportunity to get a game or two this season, and looking forward to seeing her in action.
Yes, just see what she's got to offer.
Steph Trzynski, full count to Jess Maslin. Swing and a foul ball, so Jess Maslin is still alive in the count, and these bugs, Lee, are starting to affect me.
I think it's coming from the scorer's bench. I don't know where they started, but they've come through, haven't they? No.
I don't think so. Definitely not. Welcome back to the season to our statisticians, and led by Lindy Radigan. It's promised to be a great season. Jess Maslin fouls this one, stays alive in the count, and we do very much appreciate what the statisticians do for us. They'll bring us the statistics throughout the year, and we cannot wait for what this season's going to bring. And geez, I'm excited. It's only game one.
It's fantastic. Now with Jess Maslin, this great turn at bat, but Steph hasn't thrown that low pitch in 3 pitches. It's coming now, surely.
Card moving to the outside edge.
Well,
it was a low pitch, but gets away from her. And Jess Maslin, what a terrific turn at bat. She battled through it,
excellent.
Fouled a couple off, and rewarded with a walk. So runner on base for the Seacombe Tigers yet again. So they've managed to get a runner on base most of the innings.
Have to
3 of the 4 innings.
Have to bunt here. Second pitch bunt, surely. You're only chasing 2.
Munro is the batter. That one's high for a ball, and
that's what quality pitchers do when you're going when there's a bunt situation with a runner at first. They'll throw a rise. She did. So you stay out of that and get the next one.
Well, I looked up the line to Coach Radigan with no signal there. So Munro swinging away here, swing and a miss. So 1-1 the count.
Well, you've stated how many K2 she's got already. She's not going to let up here, Steph. So percentage plays here, surely.
High for a ball, and Munro not interested in that one whatsoever. 2 balls and 1 strike. Maybe not a bad count to do this.
She's thrown a fair bit of the high stuff the last 2 batters.
You're spot on as well, Lee. I mean, with 11 strikeouts already in the game, surely the Seacombe Tigers have to try something here. High for ball 3. So you can see that the Eagles are anticipating potential play here, and so Picard has been calling high pitches. Trzynski obliging, but it's 3-1.
3-1. Excellent time to bunt the ball. She has to come back with a strike.
High for ball 4. Back-to-back walks, and great turn it back from Munro.
What's happened here, James? High. The lift driver going up.
Well, timeout's been called. Who called that timeout? Did you see who that was?
I did not see it.
It'll be interesting. We can see that the West Torrens Eagles are just gathering together. We can see Coach Scott Radigan on screen now talking to his young hitter in Becky Havis, and looks like the Eagles are just having a joke there, and umpire Gray is going to put a stop to this. Go out and have a hustle the West Torrens girls along. Steph Trzynski having a word to his catcher. Her catcher, my apologies. And Scott Radigan has had enough to say to Becky to let her know that he's going to back her in. Maybe we'll see some short play here. Runner on first and second.
What an excellent opportunity. Second pitch here.
Still chasing 2 runs here, the Tigers. There you go. There's your bunt attempt.
Second pitch.
Well, she was
It was there.
Well, she was under it as well, so she needs to be at the top of the zone with the bat. That way, if it is a rise ball, she can either pull out and it'll be a ball, or she can get on top of that ball and hit the ball into
and
the
it doesn't matter whether the field knows you're going to do it, just do it. Put the ball down and make them do something.
Another try, it's popped up. It's out of reach of Picard, and Nucky just trying to chase that one down.
Coming under the ball, wasn't she, Becky? Both times. It's all learning though, all learning experience for these young players.
Well, she's behind in the count now, so she's not only got to protect the zone, but get the ball into play this time around. And a standing strikeout. It was a low rise ball, and that's the pitch that she's had so much success with in this game already. Cara Schultz will be the catcher speed up runner for Jess Maslin. Runners on
the
first and second.
The thing you can't do with one out and 2 runners on, you can't just let the pitch go by, can you?
Got to protect the zone. Sasha Penglace versus Steph Trzynski. Bat on ball, might see the runners try to score here. Have a look at the West Torrens field. So confident in their own pitching ability that they've got, it's almost a shift, isn't it? They've got right field pretty close to regulation, but centre field is in the centre right alley, and left field is in the centre left alley, leaving a massive gap down the left field line. So no protection down the left field line, but obviously with Steph Trzynski just dominant so far in this game.
Yeah, they're not going to be pulling balls down there.
Swing and a miss, so yet another strikeout. 3 strikeouts in that inning for Trzynski.
And 2
she
base
gave
on
up
balls.
2 walks, and they were the only 2 runners aboard for the inning. They were both very impressive in Maslin and Munro, but that's all there was for the Seacombe Tigers in the top half of the 4th inning, and the Eagles still hold that 2-run lead. Well, Lee, it is a fascinating game. It started out all Eagles, didn't it? Because Trzynski dominant. They scored the early runs in the 1st inning, but Jade Peterson and the Seacombe Tigers defense have been able to hold them tight. And so it's good to have that action early on in the year. Let's go back to social media. Lee, you've got a fan. Margie Matthews has said, "Keep up the good work, Lee, and go Eagles."
Margie Matthews, yes. Twin sister, well, she's Jackie Beale's auntie.
Okay.
They're twins. Margie, that's my friend Dean's wife.
And we've also got Sherry Sampson watching from Chicago. So we've had Hong Kong, we've had Chicago, and no doubt we've got some friends around the world watching. Good sharp catch, and a chance taken there from Steph Hull at second base. So first pitch of the bottom of the 4th inning, Alicia Marcheng crushes that one to the right side and cut off by the second base player in Steph Hull on the statewide Super Replay.
It was going, it was travelling.
Amy Wheeler to bat, and she gets after the first pitch, hits a single up to centre field. Tamika Penglace fires it back in quick smart, reducing the damage to just a single. Let's have a look at that replay again. Alicia Marcheng crushed that ball, Lee. Great catch from Steph Hull. And equally as good was Amy Wheeler's hit the very next pitch. 1 out, 1 on. Steph Trzynski now up to bat. First pitch again. So we've had 3 batters in 3 pitches. That one has popped up to third base, and so she might have just lost it there in the, maybe in the sun, in the sky, maybe in the lights, because the lights have just taken effect now. And let's have a look at the replay there. Oh, she got her glove to it. And the runner will advance. I was just saying 3 batters, 3 pitches, and we've had 1 out and 2 runners aboard. Back to the top of the order for the Eagles. Change up, so that'll stop the run of pitches and swings.
Now there's trouble. It's the lead-off hitter, Jordan Lambert.
1 ball is the count. Swing and gets after this one. Shortstop Cara Schultz plays the lead runner, Amy Wheeler, who considered retreating back to second there, and a force out to third. Good play from the Tigers defense, and Nina Jamison gets back into the play. My apologies, Nina. I'll get your name right eventually.
Yeah, so Cara got a good bounce then, didn't it? Sometimes at shortstop on this diamond, you might get one in the rear, but Jordan didn't get the full ball on it, and she said just having a little practice swing there at first.
Faith Picard back up to bat, her third turn. She's got 2 hits already in the game. Swing and fouls that one off. Well, the Eagles have had, this is the 5th batter of the inning lead, 5th batter of the inning.
Yep.
I reckon they've only faced 7 pitches.
Well, Faith had 2 safe hits. What about passing her up? Get to Lana. We know Lana can bat, but both times flies to the pitcher. Is it worth the gamble? Because if she makes one land again, at least one will score.
Well, Picard drills this one out to centre field, and Penglace gets under it to take a great catch. So they get out of trouble there and on an aggressive inning from the West Torrens Eagles, but they might have hit themselves into trouble there with the aggressive swinging. But 3 quick outs, 2 on base, but that's all there was. They do hold their 2-run lead.
No score from the game on Diamond 2?
No, I'm sure someone will let me know soon enough. Well, we are very welcome to your comments online as we're interactive throughout our live stream games, thanks to Spacequake Sports. And the score from the other diamond after 4 innings, Lee, is 0-0. So that is between the Sturt Falcons and the Glenelg Rebels. So I did see Zali Adams is here. So Zali Adams versus Zoe Connolly, no doubt. The pitching duel, the pitching matchup between the 2 teams. No comment on that at all, Lee?
I'm just thinking about that. 0-0 after 4. I would have thought it might have been a little bit different than that.
0-0, Zali and Zoe?
Yeah. A lot of Z's in there.
Well,
we used to call it Z, actually, in my primary school days, which was back a bit.
a lot of Z's on Diamond 2, a lot of K's on Diamond 1 here tonight in the opening game of the Softball SA Premier League. Steph Brzezinski, she's up into double figures already. What's she up to? 12, 13 Ks for the game already. One included a drop third strike, so we'll still count that one.
Yep. That's fine.
Jade Peterson up to bat. She's the number 8 hitter. We're in the top of the 5th inning. We welcome you back to the action. And it is, of course, Seacombe Tigers versus the West Torrens Eagles. Strike called on Peterson, and she's behind in the count. Quick, smart after 2 pitches. Trzynski's just a machine, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. When she gets in the rhythm.
Fit and strong. Swing and a foul ball from Peterson. Just the way that some of these girls condition themselves for their competition. I mean, I do know that Steph Trzynski's in the gym very regularly. She's at Pilates as well. Very strong athlete, as well as the likes of Jordan Lambert, who's gym and yoga, for example. They're all doing miles and kilometres on the road as well, just foot to pavement. And you know, those Travelodge Aussie Spirit players just so dedicated to the cause and their craft. I mean, Belle White, she runs a mini marathon most days, and Maddie Cameron, just the strength at the gym. Chelsea Robinson still involved in that program as well. So it's great to see these female athletes are just awesome to watch. And a lot of people don't know what goes into their preparation and their performance. But I can tell you right now, they really do look after themselves, and so good to watch.
And you get out of it what you put into it. Simple as that, isn't it?
Well, 12th strikeout of the game for Steph Trzynski, plus the drop third strike, so 13 strikeouts. We do go to the 9-hitter. This is Nina Jamison. Low and called the bottom part of the zone. Will be good to see Nina swing at this low pitch that just seemingly is getting called maybe a little low for me, Lee, but obviously Ian, plate umpire Ian Gray, is happy with where the pitch is crossing the plate.
He's in the best position.
High pitch, and Nina gets back to ball. Jordan Lambert gets around from shortstop to take a good catch. That's her first play of the season. Lana Kayser and Jordan Lambert, such good friends, and they've been the left side of the Eagles infield for so many years already. They're both very young, but accustomed to playing together. They're great teammates, and gee, they're in sync as well, aren't they?
Yeah, they certainly are, and it shows.
Steph Hull back to the top of the order for the Tigers, and the game's original leadoff hitter, and she swings and misses at that one there. She tried something different her last time up at bat, didn't she, with that bunt attempt, running bunt attempt?
And this is a trap young players get into at times. James, when you get somebody pitching and they're pitching really quick, they come up with some huge swings. You know, there's enough on the ball, there's enough on the pitch. Just try and time it rather than, because it's coming quick, doesn't necessarily mean you have to swing that quick. And you're a very good batter, so is that fair or not, you think?
It depends how you train, Lee.
Yeah.
You know, I was taught from a young age, if you're going to swing, you may as well swing hard. So strike out to end the inning. That was another 2 strikeouts, so 14 for the game for Trzynski after 5 innings. Lee, I'll just go back to your comment. I was taught at a younger age to swing at the ball, so I'm accustomed to it. That's how I go about it. But a lot of players are taught to get their hands to the ball, get bat on ball, put the ball in play, make things happen. So, so you're right on one side of things, but on the other side, I mean, you know, if you were to say that to me, just put your hands to the ball and get the ball into play, you know, I'm doing something that I don't train for. So
no, that's right.
A good point, very good point.
Well, that's a very good point. Very valid balance there. And there's still only 2-0.
Well, it is 2-0, and it's in the favour of West Torrens Eagles. They get the last chance to bat, being the bottom of the order and the home team. If we do get to the 90-minute mark and they're in front, they don't have to bat again, of course, but we're flying through this game. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning, and you're watching Spacequake Sports. We've passed the 70-minute mark, so just about 18 or so minutes left in the game. Thanks to everyone who's watching from home. Some of your fan club there, Layla and Thomas, say hi, Pops.
Oh, okay. Hi, grandchildren.
Gee, great piece of the ball from Lana Kayser, and a good catch taken out at left field from Sasha Penglace. The Penglace sisters have been great in the outfield for the Tigers.
The good thing about that was Sasha moved quickly. As soon as the ball was hit, she had a fair idea how far it was going, so she was in excellent position to take the catch. 1
out in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Up to bat is Sophie Hoyle. Got hit in the square of the back. Check swing and fouls that one off. Did you hear a grunt then, Lee? She was disappointed in herself there, I think. Had she go the first time up to bat, she had the just a little chinker over the first base head, didn't she? So tough to call it a muff fly on the first base. She had her back to the play, full stretch. Call it as you see it, Lee.
Yes, I think that's the case, James.
Behind in the count now, Sophie Hoyle, 0-2. Ball 1 now. That change of pace out of the strike zone, not a bad idea. You don't want to throw too many in the strike zone, Lee, otherwise the West Torrens Eagles just swing every pitch.
Smoke it.
Ball 2, and to see Jess Maslin behind the plate again. She played a lot of the season last year in outfield, didn't she?
She did.
Two. Swing, and Nina's got a job at third base there. It does go between the legs. Sophie Hoyle doesn't break strides. Turns 2. She's going to try again, and she's going to stand up at third base after the ball just got away from Nina at third base there, and then on the throw into second base, gets away from the Seacombe infielder, and Hoyle takes full toll there of the Seacombe defence. Couple of little mistakes there, and they've got to run
Nina started off attacking the ball when it was coming, and then stopped attacking, and I think that's what beat her in the end.
Outside edge for Peterson there, and Kelsey Nucky is behind in the count after the first pitch.
I think I'm going a big hit to left field here.
Well, this one is to the left side, the outfield and the shortstop.
Excellent catch from Cara.
Almost meet halfway, and a very good catch from Cara. My view was obscured there just a little bit. We'll see it again on the statewide super replay. A pop-up from Kelsey Nucky. Cara didn't take her eye off the ball and takes a good catch, holding Hoyle on third base there, and gee, Sasha was really good there. She made up some ground, so she could have easily taken that one as well. Been very impressed with the two Penglaces so far in this game, as Jackie Beale still in the left-handed batter's box. We know she can go right hand as well. Fouls that one off. And what's happened here? Is Jess Maslin, did that foul come off Jess Maslin then?
I'm not sure. We've got the replay on it.
We hope that all players are okay here. Strike 1 the count. Swing and a miss. So with 2 out here, Lee, and we don't start a new inning with less than 5 minutes or less than 10 minutes, less than 5 minutes. So should see us at least get to the 6th inning, and a strikeout for Peterson will end the Eagles' 5th inning. And what started out as like it was all action, wasn't it? It's been a pitcher's game, hasn't it? We've seen the 2 pitchers shut down both teams' offenses, and a good game of softball we've got on our hands here. We're at the 75-minute mark, and the West Torrens Eagles lead 2-0. Well, very special thanks to everyone watching at home. We hope you're liking and sharing and making your comments on social media. We are interactive in between the innings breaks, and we can go back to Berry. Hi to Mel, she's watching at home in Berry, and Marg Richards has said hello to us both, Lee. She was my manager, my first state trip. Can't remember who the coach was, 1994.
Me neither.
In Mirrabooka.
Yes, it was.
Perth, Western Australia. The great man to my left, Lee Hull, you were my coach. Marg Richards was my manager.
Lovely person, Marg.
We've got one of our board directors, Andrea Collett, is watching. She'll be keeping an eye on her opposition for this year. She's part of the Walkerville coaching group. And we've also got one of the Aussie Steelers watching, Callum Beashall will be watching from New South Wales. G'day to Callum. Matthew Sholton, Chewy, watching from the Netherlands. So we're around the world, we're around Australia, we're around the world. So g'day to everybody watching. Travelodge Aussie Spirit player Chelsea Falcons watching as well. G'day Chelsea. Let's get back to the action. Tamika Penglace up to back, swing and a miss, and Steph Trzynski gets ahead of the count early. Just straight back to work, Lee.
Yep. Poetry in motion.
Chewy says hi. Trzynski. Well, Penglace. It's a hold of that one, but it just dribbles back to Trzynski for a ground out, and well fielded in the end. Those can be tough. The ones off the end of the bat, they can have a little bit of extra spin added on them, can't they?
They cause you more trouble than the ball that's hit hard at you. Yes, hello to Tui.
Gemma Letton's watching. Hi, Gemma, and so's my mum. Hi, John Ann. Cara Schultz now up to bat. There's one out, and Seacombe would want to try and get on the board here if they can. Swing and a miss from Cara Schultz because they're going to run out of time if they can't score this inning. They'll need to add a quick fielding inning if they want to go the full 7 if they can't get the runs in this inning. So Cara Schultz got a job ahead of her here to get on base and perhaps try for Jess Maslin to bring her in. Low for a ball. That's the pitch that has been the go-to for Trzynski so far tonight.
Yeah, she's eased off with it the last maybe 6 batters, I think. But it was certainly efficient for her.
Not a bad piece of the ball. Steph Trzynski fields that and picks up a bucket full of sand at the same time. Able to make the play. So 2 ground outs back to the pitcher and 2 quick outs. And Seacombe will be looking to this lady here, Jess Maslin, to get them going, get the ball rolling, because as I just mentioned, they're running out of chances as we approach the 80-minute mark.
Well, she had a great turn at bat, as you mentioned before, her last turn at bat.
Swings at the first pitch. Kelsey Naki tries to get around to it, but that one goes foul. And well, Lee, we're not going to be bringing live games on Wednesday nights before Christmas, but we will be bringing you fully loaded softball. It's our first try at it. Softball Australia had the SummerSlam earlier in this year, and it's going to be back, which we can't wait for. But we're going to have a try of it ourselves. Our state players will play in it, and we've got some new franchisees. I'll bring you those in just a moment. Oh, Maslin, big swing at that one. So two good aggressive swings, 2 fouls. We, of course, have the MC Sportswear Thunder. We've got the Scoots Cafe, West Beach, Vespers, and the very interesting one, the Nan Angels from the MFSA are going to be the 3rd franchisee owners, and they're watching online. They say g'day. And a good call, so good to see them watching, and we can't wait for our fully loaded. Jess Maslin gets a piece of that low pitch. Alicia Marching comfortably takes a good catch in the end. So that 3rd out came pretty quickly, and we are about to go to the 81-minute mark. So Seacombe will need to do, that'll do it. They've called it, Lee. Time and game is being called just at the 80-minute mark of the game, but West Torrens Eagles convincing in the end off the back of the performance of Steph Trzynski. 2 runs to 0 after 5.5 completed innings. Any thoughts on the game, Lee?
It tells the tale, and it was the pitches, wasn't it? It was all about the pitches in this game. Steph, we knew what she'd bring. We knew what Jade would bring, and it's early days, so that's that's fine.
Let's have a look at some of the contributions of the game. Seacombe Tigers, of course, they battled. They had to battle hard because Steph was right on her game. The Eagles' defence were flawless as well. So let's have a look at the West Torrens batting lineup. We saw Faith Picard got a couple of hits. Jordan Lambert led off the game with a triple. She was the first run of the game, and Picard had 2 hits and scored Lambert for the RBI. Kelsey Nucky also got a hit that scored a run. They were the 2 runs in the game. Amy Wheeler contributed with a hit. Any more there, Lee?
Sophie Hoyle, and you've mentioned Faith, and I think that's about it. So there wasn't a great lot of hits. It was just what they did with it and scored the runs. 2 runs.
Well, if we to pick a statewide super performer of the game, for me, you can't go past that effort from Steph Trzynski. She had, 14 strikeouts in the game. One of them was a drop third strike. We still count that for her. And I think Faith did a pretty good job behind the plate as well, calling the game.
She did.
And then she contributed with a couple of hits as well.
Yeah.
Well, I might give my votes to Trzynski. 3 for Trzynski, 2 for Faith Picard, and call it favouritism, but it was a great triple to get things going for the Eagles to Jordan Lambert.
Couldn't agree with you more, and I can give you an update on the game over on Diamond 2. Sturt at this moment after 6 innings, lead 1-0.
Over Glenelg.
Over Glenelg.
Well, that will be fascinating to see how they scored the run. We're going to wrap things up pretty soon here at West Beach. The game just over 80 minutes old, but it was all West Torrens. Although Seacombe fought gallantly.
Just a correction. I've just been informed 6-1.
6-1.
Sturt.
6-1 to Sturt in the
Is that
favour.
right? 6-1? 1-0 after 6. That's what I said. What were you saying? What were you saying? Yeah, I said that. Yeah.
Well, thanks for that, Lee. I'm not sure if it was 1 or 6, but
1-0.
Okay, 1-0. So well done to the West Torrens Eagles. They were our winners tonight on Spacequake Sports. So very special thanks to our broadcast partners, MC Sportswear and Statewide Super. Eagles, 2 runs to 0. Thank you very much, Lee, and looking forward to calling the remainder of the season with you.
Certainly am. Likewise, James, and good evening, everybody. It's been a cracker of a night, and we saw an interesting game. Probably a scoreline that I wouldn't have predicted.
Well, it was the Eagles, the winners, run out, winning 2 runs to 0. Thanks very much to Spacequake Sports and Softball SA. We'll see you next week.